Okay, hello again. So, when I first started my business, when I first went self-employed, it was just over 6 years ago now. I had loads of different jobs over the years. I was getting to the point with my work where I'd eventually, in my kind of early 30s, got to the point where I was fairly happy. I was earning kind of reasonable money, but I was still not anywhere near where I wanted to be. I still didn't properly enjoy my work. I still always had this kind of hankering that I could do something better. I'd always really wanted to work for myself and kind of take control back and not be told what to do and not have to be somewhere at a certain time every day and the usual drudgery, the usual stuff that irritates a lot of people. So 6 years now, I've been working for myself, absolutely love it. I get to choose how much work I do. I personally choose to do as much as I can because I think, when you enjoy your work and when you're doing something that you think is worthwhile, I think it's good to do as much as you can while you're young and while you're fit and provide for your family. But I don't have to. There's not huge pressure like that anymore. And it's a great place to be, basically. And that's kind of why I started doing these videos, why I started reading so much. I only actually started reading to the level that I am now a couple of years ago about 3 years ago actually now when my daughter was born. I almost got that wrong. About 3 years ago now, bless her. And when she was born, and I just decided, my God, sort of like take responsibility. Let's start kind of pushing things a little bit and try and be the best person I can possibly be. And that's why I do these videos. It's about personal development, and I want to try and help you guys to achieve the things that you want to achieve as well, because I get huge pleasure in kind of coaching people, training people, and helping them kind of achieve. So this book, Oversubscribed by Daniel Priestley, it's another brilliant one by Daniel Priestley. I've read 3 of his books now: Entrepreneur Revolution, Key Person of Influence, and now this one, Oversubscribed. And it's really, really good. It's kind of similar to the other two in the sense that the way he lays it out, the way he talks about the stuff, the advice, it's so clear, it's so kind of simple to follow. It isn't necessarily easy to follow because he doesn't bullshit you. He doesn't tell you that you can become successful by some easy kind of trick, by some kind of shortcut. There aren't any shortcuts. He just tells you how to do it, which is quite straightforward. It's quite simple. He talks about why some companies are kind of oversubscribed and really successful and others just aren't so good, and why that is. And he talks about the fact that the really good ones don't beg for work. If you take someone like Ferrari, for example, they know they're good. They know they'll always have people buying them, and they don't really care that some people can't afford them, because there's enough people who can afford them to make them lots of money. And it's even better that way because they're more of a niche. They're more of a specialist company. So his advice is, if you want to be oversubscribed, is to not be desperate to please as many people as possible. You need to try and actually please the people that you want to please, because it's what you believe in and it's what your product or service is about. So find your niche, find your message, your unique message, push it. Don't sell out to anyone, sell to the people who are on board with you and who get what it is that you're doing, who are passionate about what it is that you're doing. And it's this idea that you're far better off with 1,000 people who truly follow you and support you than you are trying to appeal to sort of hundreds of thousands or millions of people who in the end are just going to see it as the same old bland, boring thing, basically. So if you can get 1,000 loyal supporters, and there's actually an article online, I can't remember who wrote it now, but it's called 1,000 Loyal Fans, I think. And that kind of outlines how useful that approach is. But it's about kind of how you create kind of scarcity as well. So you don't just sort of say, here we are, we've got so much available to sell. Actually, we've only got this certain amount to sell by this certain time, and it's a certain price, and you've got to be quick because it's valuable, it's important. It's how you create scarcity. It's how you use your imagination to do that. It's not begging people to buy your services. It's trying to be the very best you can in your field. Obviously working hard, putting the time in, giving value to people as well. But it's that it is pretty much that sort of same old story of there are no shortcuts. Basically, it's putting the work in, it's being unique, it's being the best that you can be in your field, in your niche, and it's getting yourself into a position where people are desperate for your business rather than you're desperate for the customers to come to you, and you'll become oversubscribed. And it's not easy, it's not something that just happens overnight, but this book by Daniel Priestley, really, really good advice, highly recommend it. I recommend all his books, I'm a big fan of his stuff. He does loads of stuff online as well. There's loads of videos on YouTube and things that you can sign up to and newsletters and things like that. He's not one of these con artists like some of these people may well be. He's the real deal. He's really, really good. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend all of his stuff. But this one oversubscribed. I was pleasantly surprised by this one as well, because I thought after reading 2 already, I kind of thought, is it just going to be pretty dull? But it wasn't. It stands on its own as its own unique book. So really, really good.